Bucco fever's starting to sweep over the city of Pittsburgh, and boy do we need it, because it's cold as balls.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another installment of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Big Easy and Jay Dash. We're going to talk a little Pittsburgh Pirates future and present, correct?
Present and future.
Present doesn't matter.
I'm just messing with you, man. Go.
I don't know who they are. You're the one who knows
State
who
of
they
affairs. It's the state of affairs downtown.
We're going to start with starting pitching. Now,
The rotation.
Yes. Their rotation this season.
I can't help myself. They're beast. It's a beast.
It looks good. I like it.
I'm not comparing them to other baseball teams. I'm comparing them to Pirate teams of the past.
I would have liked to seen them bring Volquez back myself, but I still like what they have.
We'll see what Volquez does this
Volquez
year.
will just lose.
I'm sure he's not going to pitch
game.
as well in Kansas City.
We'll see. We'll find out. I don't want to speak his name. Anyone that's left here, they're garbage.
But listen, the top three are going to be Francisco Liriano, A.J. Burnett, and Garrett Cole. In what order they can choose later.
And that should have been them last year, too, but they let Burnett walk.
Yeah.
Well, Volquez was better than Burnett last year, so it doesn't matter.
Burnett pitched better in Pittsburgh than he did in Philly.
Yeah, we have that argument all the time. You never know.
Yeah, and plus he was hurt, so if he's back healthy, maybe he can look like he did in 2013. Who knows?
What do you think the chances of that are?
I don't think he's going to be as good as he was when he was with us, but I also don't think he's going to be as bad as he was with Philly last year. When you play for a team like Philly, you know they're in a rebuilding process. You're old. You're just there for money, pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't really care about winning.
Right.
He was trying to get traded to a winner last season, but the Phillies didn't want to give him up for nothing.
Yeah.
But at the back end, they have options. They have Locke, Worley. They have Charlie Morton. They signed that Clayton Richard that used to play for San Diego, had 2 14-win seasons for them. I really like that guy. Then they have that Lees that came from Baltimore. So they have options. I'm hoping Clayton Richard finds a way to make it into the starting rotation at some point this season.
I'll tell you one thing. With the money that they're paying Morton, he needs to perform.
He does need to perform. Is he going to have a rotation spot, though? That is the question. It all depends
Hey,
how...
I guarantee he'll have a rotation spot. He's one of the top 5 highest paid Pirates. He ain't going to be on the bench.
If somebody... well, listen, eventually he's going to have to be, because in the minors, they have Tyler Glasnow, Jamison Tyon, and Nick Kingham. Those are going to have to take over somebody eventually. Kingham could be able to pitch this season.
Yeah, Burnett.
It could be in a bullpen role.
And Liriano, that's who they take over for.
Well, Liriano we have for, 3 more seasons now?
Yeah, if he doesn't fall
so they're going to be
apart.
ready
if he
before...
don't fall apart. It feels to me like one of these years is just he's going to break
I think
his arm.
his time, he's done.
He's already on borrowed time, in my opinion.
Believe it.
We've been lucky with him. Maybe I could
So
be
you don't like
completely
this
dead
starting rotation, then? Is what you're saying?
compared to past Pirate teams, it's the best rotation I've seen. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
I liked last year's rotation just as much.
Word.
Well, didn't they? Didn't they already have a rotation very similar to this 2 years ago?
Well, they're very similar. The rotations. I like Burnett being back. I honestly think
Burnett has 1 year. You think maybe Tyon will replace him? So you got Liriano, Tyon, and Cole, and then you got Kingham and
these young guys.
Glasnow, man, I'm gonna tell you right now,
we'll see what they do. I'm not even going to talk about these young guys yet till they come in the league, till they step on the mound at PNC and actually play in the major leagues.
Listen, last year in Bradenton in 2014, he was just 20 years old. He let up 74 hits in 124.1 innings and had 157 Ks. His one problem is his walk rate, but it actually did improve from the 2013 season, so it looks like he is working on that a little bit. And I'm telling you right now, this guy he's huge. He's like 6'7". He can throw up close to 100 mile an hour. He's going to be a beast.
His arm's going to fall apart, and he's going to have Tommy Johns.
All in all, I'm happy with the Pirates' rotation this year, considering I think they have one of the better offenses in the National League.
Yeah, it's workable. We'll see what happens in the first 2 months.
Now, we're going to go to catcher.
Which is easy because they got nobody, man.
Yeah. We're not going to
spend... Crivelli?
We're not going to spend very much
old
talking
guy
about
from the commercials with the monkeys?
Quit hating, man. What happened when Russell Martin came here? People like you were like, oh, Russell Martin stinks. Then he played well for us.
Russell Martin stinks.
Yes, okay. You say every guy that plays for the Pirates sucks.
Yeah, but I didn't even know who he was, so I didn't say he stinks.
Well, he was one of the more popular catchers in baseball.
I don't think anyone expected him to come here and have career years, do you?
No, I didn't either, but like I said...
well, then we got lucky with him, too.
Maybe the Pirates are smart and know what they're doing, and they brought in another guy like this. Look, his career numbers, he only has 688 career
Yankees,
bats.
Just keep bringing in bum Yankees and hope they'll perform.
Listen, he has a career 278 average with a 348 on-base percentage, 10 home runs, and 688 at-bats. This guy sounds pretty good to me. Look, 64 walks. His walk rate is nice.
It's not just what you do at the plate as a catcher. It's what Martin brought to the plate for the pitching staff.
And guess what? They're saying Cervelli is the same thing. This guy is more defense than offense. So I think this is a good stopgap until Reese McGuire is ready, which should be 2 or 3 seasons at least.
So whatever happened to Tony Sanchez? That bum's just a wasted first-round pick?
Tony Sanchez, yeah, he's never going to be a starting catcher.
Waste. Way to go, front office.
Well, listen, I'm happy with Cervelli. There wasn't much out there. I think they did the best with what was available to him. They weren't going to sign Russell Martin for, what, $80 million, I think it was, for how many years? 4, 5?
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous number. They had to bring in something. They got a guy that is defensive-minded. He's a good catcher.
Hopefully he can do something, because I know Chris Stewart's garbage.
The one question about Cervelli is he going to be able to stay healthy? That's the real question you should be asking, not saying, oh, this guy's garbage. Listen, he can hit the ball and he plays good defense. The question is it going to be for 140 games? Is it going to be for 100 games? Is it going to be for 60 games? And that's where Chris Stewart comes in.
Yeah, Chris Stewart.
Which, he's not the greatest either, but, I mean, as a backup catcher, he's definitely serviceable.
Yeah, he's serviceable. That's it.
But in the minors, they have a top prospect, one of the best catchers in the minors, in Reese McGuire. He's still a long way away, though, so they're either going to have to get it done with Cervelli. He's going to have to perform like people hope, or they're going to have to find someone else within the next couple of years, too, because McGuire will not be ready by 2016. All right, let's move on to first base. This season, it's going to be Pedro Alvarez, at least against right-handers. There is the possibility they will platoon with Corey Hart.
Yeah, he ain't batting against lefties.
Possibly not.
More platoon play at first base. Garbage.
The platoon happens in baseball, man.
He
really got to get back on track.
Their lack of finding a solid first baseman
hindering.
It is very disturbing to me. Yeah, okay, front office, all these moves. They haven't been able to find a first baseman for 20 years.
You're not happy with Pedro at first this season?
Nope.
Yeah, you got.
Well, I know you're not. You hate everybody.
You put him there.
I mean, I think a guy that has potential 30 home run power, a guy that's probably going to hit 20 home runs, is a nice first baseman to have.
Yeah, it'll work.
And plus, I mean, you got to look.
Better break his first baseman in though.
You got to look at Corey Hart though. What's he going to be like? Is he going to be Is he going to be serviceable against left-handed pitching?
They couldn't even take a picture of him in a pirate hat for his pirate picture.
Look at this. In 2010, 31 jacks. 2011, 26 jacks. 2012, 30 jacks. He missed the entirety of 2013 due to injury. He came back too early. In 2014, he only played in 68 games. He wasn't fully healthy. He hit just 203 with 6 jacks. If they can get anything close to what he was doing in Milwaukee from 2007 to 2012, really,
which was
they
the height
got
of the
steal.
steroid era. Not the
well,
height,
he never looked like a guy that did steroids. He's a tall, lanky guy.
Oh, they all did him.
He's 6'6", 240. They all did him.
Him and Braum are packing it in with each other.
Juicing it into each other's butts.
But he's also going to play some outfield as well.
I hear the Buccos aren't going to hit Polanco any higher than like 5th or 6th this year because they don't want to put any... Well, not at all this year, but at least early because they don't want to put a lot of pressure on him.
It's possible. There's also talk about batting him leadoff, too.
I think it's a lot of pressure.
Let's face it. Pedro Alvarez is not going to be a long-term first baseman for the Pirates. They are eventually going to get rid of him. Why? Because they got the #1 prospect first baseman in the minor leagues in Josh Bell. This guy is very young still. He doesn't have great power, but he's growing into more power. They expect him to be somewhat of a power hitter. He has an excellent walk and K rate. He's thought of as a close to a 300 hitter. This guy is the best available in the minors at the position.
Wasn't he an outfielder?
Yeah, they're moving him to first base this season to get him ready.
He needs to get some power in him because that's what they need out of the first base position. I'm not saying it wouldn't be nice to have those other things. You need power out of your corner positions, and Harrison isn't ever really going to give you a ton of power. He's going to be mediocre pretty much. Well, I don't, maybe not mediocre, a little better than that. But you got to get something. None of our corner outfielders don't give us home runs. Our corner infielders don't give us home runs.
See, I disagree. I think you're going to start seeing more power out of this outfield. And really, our outfield is the best part about this team. And Bell's supposed to be a player like one of these outfielders. And I think as many of those guys as you can get, if you can find a spot for him on the infield, I'd love to see it. I'd love to have 9 Starling Martes out there.
9 35-year-olds that claim to be 24.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to second base. We got Neil Walker.
Yeah, Pirate that I like, even though you keep saying I hate them all.
He is, yeah, you like Neil Walker, correct?
Right.
Only because you think they're going to get rid of him ASAP.
Well, they are.
You hated him until you figured that out.
No.
But really, he's one of the
Pittsburgh.
He's one of the better second basemen in the league.
Done a great job for this team.
Yeah, he has power. He can hit for a pretty decent average. He plays good second base. He's not going to be around forever, though, either. They have options in the minors, and Alan Hansen. He is another top prospect that you have to find room for these guys eventually.
Is not going to make it through a full season either. You know that for sure.
Neil Walker?
Right.
Yeah, that's the one reason why if they did end up getting rid of him at the end of their contract, he's already going to be over 30 years old by the time his contract's up. Listen, he has back problems. So he's not going to, I don't think he's going to be a player that plays well into his late 30s. So really, I'm looking more at Alan Hansen as the future second baseman. And Josh Bell at first, like I said, and Walker and Pedro will probably both be gone at some point.
Hey, Easy's going to have liver problems over here with all these beers, but we're not just going to drop them. We're going to stand behind them. Fellow Pittsburgh native.
Presently, I'll give Walker a 4.5 out of 5 beer ranking.
There it is.
Because he's
solid.
Yeah, he's solid. And he just gets.
He's a run producer.
Yeah. Every once in a while he gets, set back with an injury or two. But hey,
Ken Griffey Jr. got injured. That don't mean he's not a Hall of
162
Famer.
games. It's brutal. I mean,
I heard Manfred say he'd consider 151 or 152. What did it used to be?
154.
154, okay.
Yeah.
They don't want to go any lower than that, though.
When Walker is hurt, you're going to see Kong at second base, so you're going to be hating then.
Yeah, I know. I could care less about overseas dudes we bring in with no experience whatsoever.
Losers.
Start a reality show.
All right, let's move on to third base. We got
Hey,
Josh
yay!
Harrison this season.
Tra-la-la-la-la.
Hit .315 last year, double-digit home runs, double-digit stolen bases. This really was one of our best players last season.
He was double digits in your heart.
Yeah, he was great. He's going to start right off the bat, third baseman, see what he can do. Give him a season, and I think he'll be fine.
It's the right move to give him the opportunity after the season he had last year, but I don't think he's going to perform as well as he did.
There's no reason for him not to.
I see the double digits staying there. He hit low double digits last season. I don't see that dropping too much. His stolen bases, I could actually see maybe a couple more. I think he had something 17 or 18 last season. I could see him getting close to 20. The average, you're right. I don't see a 315 average. Not even the best players in baseball can repeat a 315 average year after year.
Right.
280, that would be fine with me. He's still a pretty solid third baseman all around.
Makes plays, energetic, gives 110% every game. Always did. So let's say he pulls up Gimp with a busted knee. Who we got behind him to take his place?
It'd be Kong again, man.
Kong.
Yeah. That guy is going to back up second base, third base,
everywhere,
and shortstop, and it's possible he can play some outfield too. And really, it is also possible he can play first base, so he could be a super utility player. But there's also the possibility he just outplays Mercer and becomes their starting shortstop.
So he's the Pirates' new Josh Harrison then, because that's what Harrison was until he outplayed Pedro at third base, and then he stole the job from him.
But then with nothing, we have never seen this guy ever. Does he play hard? I don't know anything about this guy.
He doesn't play hard. Does he run? English. He has to have a translator.
He can't even speak English.
Well, listen, he was.
I'm not down with that.
He was the league's MVP last season. He's 28 right now.
That league is garbage.
Well, it's not garbage. Listen, Hyun-Jin Ryu came from there, and he's one of the best pitchers in baseball for the Dodgers. So I wouldn't say that league is garbage.
Pitching's different.
Why is pitching different? A guy can hit a baseball from any country. Because there's probably only
3 good pitchers over there. That's why.
I don't know, man. You got to give him a chance at least.
I'm not even giving him a chance. I hate him.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Whatever.
Now, at third base in the minors, really, they're kind of short. But the one person you can look at is Jacoby Jones. He's a shortstop right now, and he has a lot of power. But like Pedro, he Ks a ton. His walk rate is okay. The thing is, he's probably not going to stay at shortstop, so he could be a possible future third baseman for the Pirates. It's all about that power, though. Is the power for real? He has to repeat the season he had last year because he had a really big season. You just got to expect a lot of Ks from him. Shortstop, they're going to be going with Jordy Mercer most likely, with Kong as their backup until they figure that situation out at least. Jordy Mercer,
we were just talking. If Kong goes down, we need to sign like 5 dudes.
Not really. They got that Sean Rodriguez, too. He is also a utility infielder. He has double-digit pop. His average isn't great. He's going to hit 240 or something. But he can play all positions as well.
Shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
Yeah, double-digit pop from Jordy Mercer. His average isn't going to be real high. His on-base percentage isn't going to be real high. He played great defense last season. I really like him at shortstop, and even if Kong can't beat him out, I am happy with where they are at for now. And let's not forget they drafted that Cole Tucker, what was it, last season, and he's already in top prospect talks.
Can we have a moment of silence for Clint Barmas? Thank you.
His whole career was silent.
One of the best. Listen, Clint Barmas was one of the best defensive shortstops in the game.
And straight up yins all night. Sad to see you go, Clint. Nope, not really. Later.
Peace.
So the Pirates actually look okay at shortstop for the coming years if that Cole Tucker turns out to what everybody is hoping he can be.
So you say everybody in the Pirates infield is an all-star, according to J Dash.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
I said Pedro Alvarez was
30 home runs.
Yeah,
I said he has potential for 30, more likely 20-some.
Neil Walker.
Yeah, he's a potential all-star, obviously.
He is an all... bear with me, Sella.
Neil Walker is an all-star.
So is Pedro Alvarez.
Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison was not an all-star last year.
Jordy Mercer. If Jordy
I never
Mercer,
said Jordy Mercer was an all-star.
Right.
Pedro was garbage last year.
You know what? Let's say... Throw your boy Kong in at shortstop. He has the best year ever of a freaking overseas player.
260 we have with 20 jacks, I'll take it.
Our whole infield is all-star capable. Is that too far to say?
If you're going to say that Harrison...
So what are we doing? We're going to win the World Series, aren't we?
Listen, I don't think Cervelli is all-star capable, and I don't think Mercer is all-star capable, but Kong could be. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that. But everybody else, Harrison, Pedro Alvarez, and Neil Walker are all all-star capable. Now let's move to outfield where they're all all-star capable.
If you're saying that Harrison should be expected to play good because he played good last year, then I'm saying Pedro is going to be expected to play bad because he played bad last year.
This is looking good for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Josh Harrison is going to repeat the exact season he had last year. I said he could hit 280, but that's
that's not my point. My point is you're saying that Harrison has the potential to be an all-star because he played well last year.
Obviously, Pedro Alvarez has the potential to flop again. We got to see, but he also has the 30 home run potential. We're going to have to wait and see.
My point is, if you're going by last year's stats to project what they're going to do this year, you got to say Pedro's going to do bad. If you're saying Harrison's going to do good, because before last year, Harrison didn't do a lot.
He's a career 280 hitter, though. I'm saying he's going to be on pace with his career. Pedro Alvarez, what's he average in 162 games? 28 8 home runs, maybe.
More like 8.
You want to move on to the outfield now?
Let's move on to the all-star field.
We're going to go with left field, Starling Marte. Just signed a long contract with the Pirates. This is their present and future in left field right now.
And he got benched last year.
Yeah, he was benched for a little while last year. He came
back.
He
was concussed.
No, he was benched.
He came back and played. He was one of the best outfielders and one of the best hitters in all of baseball after he came back.
Was he benched? I don't think
it wasn't necessarily benched. He was hurt, and they just gave him extra time off because he was also not playing well.
But listen, that would be benched then.
Well, he was hurt, and that's why he stopped playing. And then they didn't bring him back immediately because they wanted him to get things straight.
Oh, well, I thought you were saying, he was hurt, then they brought him back and was like struggling, then they sat him a little bit more.
No,
when they brought him back,
he wasn't
he was playing so bad before he got hurt. When he was healthy, they didn't want him.
He's not Bo Bennett.
His problem was they made him the leadoff hitter to start the season, and it really didn't work out for him. He's not a guy that takes a lot of walks. His K rate isn't terrible, but it isn't great either. He's not a prototypical leadoff hitter, and he's better off down in the lineup.
Who is the leadoff hitter?
It's either going to be Josh Harrison or Gregory Polanco in my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, Harrison
knows how to discipline. Harrison, you would think it's going to be, yeah.
I don't want to throw Polanco in there. That's too much pressure on a young guy.
Yeah, you have to see first. I mean, it might not be right away.
Hitting first is kind of fun, though. So.
But look what it did to Marte last year. They put him in at first, and he struggled.
There's no reason. There should be no stress or not stress, but these guys. There's no pressure on them. There should be no pressure on these guys whatsoever.
There's mad pressure on all these dudes.
There shouldn't be.
Well, there shouldn't be any pressure on Marte now. He got a long contract. He can do whatever he wants.
There's expectation, but, I mean, just look at them. They're the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right, and everybody thinks they're World Series contenders because they've had 2 seasons of better play than they did the 20 before.
Yeah, but then if if I'm a player on that team and we've had 2 wild card appearances, I'm feeling good about it, but I'm not feeling any pressure to win. I'm not feeling any pressure to win. The hump's been already gotten over.
Yeah, now there's a new hump. Screw the old hump.
There is no new hump.
There has to be a new hump. No. If you want to be a good organization, just making the playoffs shouldn't be good enough, man. You need to go after it every year.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Starling Marte is one of the best hitting left fielders in baseball, and he's also potentially a Gold Glove candidate in the future. He plays very good defense. He covers a lot of range. He's their present and he's their future at left field.
Alone. Well, then move on to
unless he really is 50 years old.
Move on to where the money is then.
Andrew McCutchen, we have him for 4 more seasons. Obviously, he's been in the MVP voting for the past 3 seasons, won it once. I mean, what do you got to say about this guy? He's a potential MVP every season. He's still just 28 years old. He has power. He has speed. He has excellent plate discipline. He does everything right. And he's a Gold Glove candidate as well.
The best. One of the best.
Please believe.
That's all you can say.
Like I said, we have him for 4 more years, too, so really you don't have to look at the future at that position yet either.
We'll plaster on the front page of the sports that we have the potential to pay him $25 million at some point. Why even talk about paying McCutchen something? We have him locked up for the next 4 years. Why are they even talking about contract?
Do you want to hear my theory, Easy?
Yeah, I do want to hear it because it disgusted me.
My theory is the Pirates are starting a misinformation
campaign said about Pedro
right
Alvarez and Neil Walker. It's the same.
The Pirates front office wants the average Pirate fan to believe they're going to pay him $25 million a year so that when it comes the actual time to give him the extension and it doesn't work out, the Pirates front office can say to the fans, look, we tried. Yeah. He was the one who didn't want to stay. So then the fans aren't mad at the organization. They're more mad at the player, and the Pirates don't lose fans. It's a misinformation
drum
campaign.
Up conversation like that?
Well, let me say this first of all.
Right now.
He makes over $12 million a year. So we're just talking about another $12 million, which is a lot of money. But yeah, you shouldn't talk about it right now, but you also can't wait the entire 4 years. You got to sign him before he's a free agent if you're going to sign him. Now, he's talking about, oh, they're $25 million. They're just putting that number out there to make fans hate him. He said the same thing about Alvarez and Walker, by the way, at one point.
And Alvarez and Walker are going to leave.
But what fans are like, oh, I hate Alvarez, get him out of here. No one cares. No one is thinking that deep into it. They're saying when Alvarez is ready to go, we got Josh Bell below him. It's okay to let him go. It's not like we're saying, oh my God, we're going to hate McCutchen. He sucks so bad. Once he goes, if he signs for $100 million a year with someone, I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah,
the point is,
fine.
but listen, here, let me say want them to blame the organization. They're tricking the fans into thinking the organization is going to try when it's not going to happen.
Listen, first of all, $25 million is not enough, so it's not like they're tricking anybody into anything. And they would pay him $25 million.
It was on the front page of the sports.
I said the average fan, not the intelligent fan.
In 2019. They will pay someone $25 million a year. It's not a stretch. Listen, they signed their TV contract. Everybody signed TV contracts after the Pirates. They make between $19 and $23 million a year from their TV contract, while other teams are signing billion-dollar TV contracts and making hundreds of millions of dollars. The Pirates' TV contract is up in 2019. The same year McCutchen is going to be up.
Okay.
Or maybe McCutchen's up a year earlier, but still just one season away from signing. They're going to get a big TV contract, so they're going to be able to spend a little bit more money in the coming years. Well, yeah, they got to keep winning. Well, they're going to get a bigger TV contract, win or lose, but they're going to have more money to spend starting 2019.
Right. I just don't see the need to talk up.
No, you're right. You don't need to talk it right now.
So, but which leads me to believe, I think he's on to something. They just want to start this rhetoric.
Just
now,
to be able to have it's like a paper trail.
Like
they're going to have a paper trail,
stupid.
You know, to say we try. And I'm not saying that means they're going to get rid of him before the contract expires.
I was feeling so
I'm
good.
just saying when he finally leaves town, they don't want fans to blame him. Because you may be right about Walker and Alvarez. Nobody gives a crap. But this is McCutchen. This is the face of the franchise. So when he leaves, most likely he's still going to be the best player on our team. And when that happens, they want the fans to think they did everything. We've been trying for 4 years. Look, we said 4 years ago we wanted to sign him.
Time out. They think by saying $25 million now, we're going to think, oh, they did everything they can. I'm thinking right now, $25 million is not going to get it done. He deserves more
Why are
than
they
that.
saying
I'm saying the average fan.
Because that's probably what they think they can do.
Dash, you're not the average fan.
But it's not enough.
You're the intelligent baseball fan. You're thinking too intelligently.
If you're Andrew
McCutchen, the average fan doesn't even look. They don't know player salaries. They see $25 million a year and think, "Holy cow, 25! That's so much money." They don't look as in depth to you. They don't know as much about baseball as you do. Your baseball mind's so much better than theirs. So they see that. The average Joe says, "Holy crap! The Pirates have pulled out every stop they possibly could, and he's still going to leave town. He must have been greedy. He just wanted more money."
I don't see it. I don't believe it.
Why even start this rhetoric?
You're the king of conspiracy.
Why start this rhetoric about potentially paying him money 5 years from now?
Because let's say, okay, let's bring up.
We can't talk about Bell or Glasnow or Talon coming back from his surgery. We can't talk about that. We have to talk about, maybe in 5 years we're going to pay Andrew McCutchen $25 million.
They're not talking about that, though, man. It could be 2 years away. And just bringing up the conversation of, hey, we could pay him up to $25 million, maybe that brings in his mind, that's almost close to the number I want. Maybe I should start talks now. Maybe we can sign something backloaded a little bit where I'm still making close to what I make now and buying off some free agent years.
Okay. You got me there. Maybe that's
misinformation.
But really, the problem is McCutchen is going to be.
They better keep him. He keeps producing like he does. They got to give him whatever he wants.
Listen, he's 28 now.
In 4 years from now, if he's still got these same stats,
he's going to be 32.
He better not leave.
So listen, he's not going to be like, listen, give me 3 years, $75 million. He's going to want a contract until he's 38 years old. So they got to sign him long term if they want that.
If they wait 4 years and he produces 4 more times the way he has, they're never going to be able to afford him.
No, they're not. That's why this $25 million number doesn't mean much to me. It's almost saying, we're probably not going to be able to afford him in 4 years. Because let's face it, at $25 million now, That's like having $40 million contracts in 4 years. You understand?
Yeah.
Like in 4 years, $25 million contracts are going to go to everyone. All right.
El Giraffe, break it down.
Our present and future in right field, too. Our outfield is set for at least 4 more years until McCutchen makes his decision. But Gregory Polanco, he was a beast in the minors. He has a great walk rate, great strikeout rate. He has power potential. He has excellent speed. He has great defense. He has a good arm. He does everything. He just got to prove it this year in the majors. That's pretty much it.
Simple.
5T GP.
And then in the outfield long term, they also have Austin Meadows, which really he's not going to be a 4th outfielder. This guy is going to be a beast. So if McCutchen doesn't sign, maybe move Marte to center field, and then you bring Austin Meadows up to play. He's still 2 or 3 years away at least. Or maybe Meadows is a trade piece, which is possible. And then they have another outfielder, too, who I really like, is Harold Ramirez. He looks like he's going to be a good baseball player, too. They have a lot of options in the minors. And really, no matter what they lose in the coming years, they will have something to replace it.
Sounds good.
Well, that wraps up one of the most brutal half hours of my week, Bucco baseball. I want to thank you, Easy, for coming in. Thank you, Dash, for doing all the hard work again. Fans, thank you for listening. You guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me personally on Twitter at betjimthewin. You can follow Easy on Twitter at
Steel Digital.
Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.